Hello and welcome to my Neewer PG001 Follow Focus review, where I'll run you through how to set this unit up, as well as what you get in the kit, and more importantly, what other items I use with this to make it just that little bit more special. So come on, let's get into it and I'll walk you through it. So what's in the kit and what does a follow focus unit do for you? Well, we have the follow focus unit itself, we have the rod, we have the rod mounting bracket, then there is the lens gearing which simply slips over the lens so the gear on the follow focus unit can rotate the focus then. And this is completely adjustable. It just simply pops out and you can adjust it to the size of the lens itself. So this is how you set up the unit. And what I'm going to do is just grab my camera. I'm going to grab the mounting bracket and I'm just going to pop that over and just screw on the two hex screws here. So I'll put one on there, not tightening it up completely as of yet, and getting a second one. And, putting that in. So that's the rod mounting bracket in place there now at the moment. So all we do then is we just open out the side lever here so we can slide in the 15mm clamp. And then we can tighten that up along a small bit again. I just push that out along there a small bit. And then we get our follow focus unit. And again, the hole here just slides over the 15mm rod. And we can sort of tighten that up with the locking lever on the back. Now, as you can see, the follow focus unit is kind of upside down to a certain extent here. So what we need to do is we just need to position it correctly. So the first thing I will do here is the little side lever on the side here. If you just release that fractionally, that means you can tilt this out. So now this is kind of at a horizontal level. And what we can do is, because it's actually easier to adjust this one, just release this lever a small bit. So it'll actually slide into place and we'll get it so it's roughly around there like that. And that is kind of close enough, I would think. Now we can go another small bit. Yeah, there now. So when it's at that position now, that's kind of close enough to horizontal there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock that in place there, and I'm going to set my gear position here too as well, and just lock that in place. And so here we have everything set up now. I have all the locking levers tightened up, it's in position and it's secure. So when I adjust the follow focus unit, it is actually turning the focus, because you can see the actual gear on the focus ring is rotating there now too as well when I turn the follow focus unit itself. So that's now adjusting our focus. Now we're not finished as of yet, because this still has a few more features I want to talk to you about. This has A/B stops, and you might be thinking, what are A/B stops? Well, let me explain to you quite simply. Let's say we're filming an interview and there's two people here. We're shooting off, coming in from this side. So there's one person here, there's another person here. So we're going to have two separate focus points. Now, if we want to smoothly focus from one to the other at variable speeds during the interview, you can quickly go from one person to the next. You can set up A/B focus points. So what you do is, before you start filming, you focus on one person, you say, okay, that's locked onto one person now. You bring one of the stops around, and all you do is you tighten it up, and what that will do then is that creates an end point. You can't actually go beyond that. So that's one person. Then you go to your other person and you focus on the other person and say, oh, there it is, perfect. Bring your B stop to that then and tighten it up, and then just check both. And what you can do is you can smoothly go from one person to the next and vary the transition speed in your focus yourself. So you can shoot it manually, and you know for a fact that's going to be locked on each person when you're doing that. And if you decide to slow it down sometimes for a slightly softer transition from one to the other, or speed it up, let's say if there's a bit more of a dramatic moment in the interview, a hard-hitting question, you can quickly zoom in on a person. So it's really incredibly handy, and you're not relying on the camera's AF speed to do that. You can actually do it manually yourself at the time, and you have greater control. So it is incredibly handy. Now, the one thing I haven't mentioned as of yet is the price. And right now, the Neewer PG001 Follow Focus is retailing for roughly around $69. And don't forget, you can get 20% off with my Neewer discount code HAZE21 on their website. It also covers all their products and works all year round. So that brings the price down to roughly around $57 which is a fantastic price for a unit of this quality. Like, this kit is super smooth to use, and as I just mentioned, it's incredible value for money. It's fantastic for manual focus lenses too, of course, if you just want a bit more creative control of focus speed between shots. There are a few optional accessories I use with this unit, and the first is the Neewer Palm rest, which is the PG010. I don't know if it'll focus on that now or not, but this is truly awesome if you're not shooting on a tripod, as now both hands can support or just steady the camera while you're using the follow focus. Let me just give you an example. If you're out and you're out running and gunning and you're shooting with a follow focus unit, when you're twisting and turning this, it's actually making the system slightly more unstable because you can't really support the camera. And when you're twisting and turning this, you're adding a small bit more motion to the camera. It just doesn't feel right. Now, if you're shooting on a tripod, if you're shooting on a shoulder rig or something, you're fine. But if you're out just using it like this, a palm rest is incredibly handy. So how does it all work? Well, basically what you do is just open out the locking lever on top here, and it spins off to the side. The little rod clamp opens out. It's a 15mm rod clamp. So I can basically just pop this over the 15mm rod that comes with the follow focus unit. And if I open that another small bit, these things never work right when you're filming yourself, but let me see. Right, put it into position here now and just lock this up along. So I'm gonna put this here now. Right, so it's now fitted in place and it looks like that. And you might say, how is this so useful, Kieran? Well, simply put your palm here, and now the weight of the camera is actually supported here. And now you can turn the follow focus unit and you have far more support. You're giving far more support to the actual camera itself while you're turning this, because it's actually resting down on the palm of your hand, so you can hold the camera a lot steadier then. Now, it's a lot easier to do this when you're not filming yourself and holding it out like that. Whereas when I'm holding this, there's nothing holding the weight really. And if I try to rely on this to hold the weight, it doesn't really work. It just really doesn't work. So that is an incredibly handy little gadget to have. And it takes up no space and it is incredibly simple to fit. The second item I would advise you to buy then is these seamless follow focus gearings. You simply buy it and leave it on your lens so you no longer have to put on and off the supplied expandable gearing, which is great to have, but they're a small bit fiddly to set up. Now, the keen-eyed of you will have noticed that I actually haven't been using the expandable gearing all through this review, that I have been using these seamless follow focus gearings and I leave them on all my video lenses and I absolutely love them. There's nothing wrong with this in ways, and it's great to get it in the kit, but I just love the seamless follow focus gearings because there's no popping these on and off, and you're not worried about getting that adjustable clamp caught in the gear, or also when you're rotating back around, this isn't wrapping around a 15mm rod, or it's not wrapping around something else and getting caught and causing your focus to jerk slightly. So it just gives you better results, and it's simpler and easier to use too as well, of course. Next then we have the Neewer PG006 and PG007 gears. And these gears simply replace the gear here with a slightly bigger gear or a slightly smaller gear. So you can change the ratio at which the follow focus unit adjusts the focus. So you can make it more or less sensitive to a turn of the actual follow focus unit itself. So all in all, this is one amazing bit of kit. For the money, to think you can buy this for roughly $57 after my discount code is applied, that is ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. $57. You're getting the adjustable lens gear, you're getting the follow focus unit, the 15mm rod, and the mounting bracket. And this is not a cheap bit of kit. With AB stops and everything, this is incredible value for money. It really and truly is. I'd highly recommend this. And yeah, I've added it to my gear bag. It's always going to be with me now when I go out in a video shoot. So yeah, nothing more to say really, other than thanks for watching. See you out there and mind yourselves.